Here are just some of the things you'll find inside the Forager's Guide to Wild Foods. You'll discover a plant that you can pop, just like popcorn. The only difference is that it tastes better with a nutty flavor, and it's gluten-free. This plant is pretty common all over America, and I think you've seen it many times before. Young leaves can be picked in early spring or used raw in salads or cooked. They taste like spinach. They're best harvested early in the day and plunged into cold, salted water for 15 minutes. But the true power of this plant lies in its seeds. They are very tiny, the size of sesame seeds, and you should pop them as they taste better than popcorn. Just place them in a tall pot and let the magic begin. I think you'll love it. I'll also show you the plants and fruits that you would better forage in winter. Rose hips, for example, are 1,000,000 times more delicious after the first frost, when they become creamy and sweet. Another plant you'll discover is what herbalists refer to as nature's Prozac. This instant anxiety-relieving plant could be growing near your house, no matter where you live in America. Steeping 1 teaspoon of clean, fresh leaves in a cup of boiling water for 10 minutes can also help you fall asleep faster. Please don't drink this tea if you plan on driving in the next 6 hours. I'll also show you why cattails are literally all you need to survive. Survivalists call this plant the supermarket of the swamp because you can eat every part of it, even its pollen. Cattails are a tactical, 4-season food that can save your life and keep you strong, even in the darkest times. You'll find out how to identify and take advantage of the American hog peanut. This common plant has the interesting ability to produce 2 types of flowers and 2 types of seeds at the same time. The lower, usually underground pods, contain a very large single seed that tastes like peanuts and can be eaten raw. The upper pods contain numerous smaller seeds that taste like garden beans and need to be cooked. So how would you feel if one day there wouldn't be any more food left to buy, but you could still come back home to your family with a pile of these treats? I'll also show you the fast-growing succulent red plant that resembles and tastes like bacon when cooked. You'll also discover a nut that was a mainstay in the grocer 100 years ago, but people can barely recognize them nowadays. American beech nuts are sweet and taste best after the first hard frost of autumn. You can separate the burrs by hand and dry the nuts in the sun. The shells can be cracked in the oven and then eaten. Our ancestors also boiled them to skim off their oil for cooking and to light lamps. I'll also show you how to make what I like to call healthy Pringles. The leaves of this plant have the unique ability to be turned into tasty, crispy, finger-licking chips. You'll discover a distinctive but common mushroom that grows in all 50 states. This mushroom is called the morel, and it's worth around $50 a pound and could even go as high as $200 a pound in dried form on Amazon and eBay. There are no similar lookalikes, but just to be double sure you've got the right one, slice it in 2. If it is hollow from top to bottom on the inside, they are morels. Nutty, woodsy, and fragrant, these mushrooms can be dried and reconstituted later by soaking them in water. If I were to recommend you a plant or mushroom to forage for profit, this would be it, as it's expensive and in huge demand. I'll also show you what to do if you find this odd berry that's very high in natural pectin, and how to use it for preserves and jams, keeping your desired consistency while decreasing the sugar you need to use. The next time you pass by this pain-killing plant, stop and do this. Take a stalk or 2 and tear it in 2. The plant secretes a milky white substance that resembles the one in opium poppy. The substance is known as lacticarium, and it has much milder effects, but it's completely legal to forage, grow, and eat. You can collect its sap for a pain-killing elixir to have around whenever you have a lingering pain that just won't go away. I'll also show you where to best tap the big leaf maple or sugar maple tree to get the maximum yield out of your sap. Indigenous populations boiled maple sap into sugar using hot stones. But of course, it's much easier to use your stove or oven. It takes 40 parts sap to produce 1 part syrup. Boil the sap to evaporate the water content, and then use a coffee filter to remove the sediments, and you're left with a wonderful natural sweetener filled with antioxidants. You'll also discover a plant called lamb's quarters. This Great Depression weed saved large communities from starvation and malnutrition. Growing all over the U.S., this superweed is also called wild spinach, and it contains substantially more nutrients than cultivated spinach and kale. Well, if hard times ever come again, wouldn't you prefer to have this information on hand? I'll also show you how to make a fruity elderflower remedy to reduce inflammation in the body and to regulate bowel movement. You'll also discover how to recognize reishi, the mushroom that got me out of the wheelchair. Every day since that day, 20 years ago, I take, along with other remedies, a tincture that I make from this mushroom. Alongside my remedies, it helps a lot with my MS, and I gladly recommend it as a medicinal mushroom for autoimmune conditions and other chronic issues. I'll also show you how to make a crispy crust wild dandelion bread. So if dandelions grow somewhere near you, go ahead and put them to good use. Just imagine when you open up the oven and fill your home with the smell of fresh baked bread with a subtle, sweet dandelion flavor. You'll also discover what to do if you find the common lake and swamp plant American lotus. The most delicious part is its arm-long roots that taste like sweet potatoes, but has holes in it. Its chestnut-flavored seed, also known as alligator corn, are ground into flour or can be pressed for extracting oil. I'll also show you what to do immediately after identifying colt's foot. This plant holds the secret to unblocking your airways and fighting colds, the flu, and unstoppable coughs. In fact, its Latin name is tussilago, which means to act on cough. I'll also show you something truly extraordinary, a seaweed that grows almost faster than you can eat it. If you look at it for some time, you can actually see it grow. This is one of the treats I ate on the Alone Show on Vancouver Island. So next time you find this plant washed up on the beaches, open your new book and find out what to do with it. I'll also expose the delicious secret this common plant holds, hidden from sight. If you pull up this invasive weed, you can find its secret, the nut-shaped edible tubers that taste somewhere between almonds and hazelnuts. Foragers call them earth almonds. They can be eaten right out of the ground, or you can dry them for later use. When your friends ask you what these delicious treats are, I'm pretty sure they'll be blown away when you show them this common weed. I'll also show you how to use yarrow leaves as one of nature's most effective band-aids. Simply chew and apply it directly to the wound for 2 to 3 minutes. This instant field poultice helps prevent the infection of the wound and stops the bleeding. I'll also show the berry that is illegal to grow in some states, but perfectly fine to forage for. If you find a single gooseberry bush, you can gather around 12 pounds of gooseberries, and you can return year after year to take advantage of it. You'll also uncover a wild plant that is sweeter than sugar and helps people with diabetes. Its sweetness comes from a compound found in the roots, with a taste similar to sugar, but less instant and more long-lasting. In the Forager's Guide to Wild Foods, you'll also find other sugar substitutes that are okay to eat, especially if you have diabetes. I'll also show you the most sought-out dish at Nature's Restaurant, together with over 50 edible berries that you'll find inside the Forager's Guide to Wild Foods. You'll also discover what you should do immediately when you find an alligator tree. It's very easy to identify as the bark perfectly mimics an alligator skin. The Zuni tribe steamed its berries and turned it into something that should find its way onto your dinner plate. I'll show you how to find the mini watermelons in the wild. The watermelon berry provides instant refreshment while quenching thirst and giving your body a fistful of vitamins. Did I mention that it tastes like watermelon? I'll also show you the common, but usually unpopular, pond-dwelling microplant that can save your life one day. This is the world's smallest flowering plant, almost half the size of a grain of rice. But while it might be teeny tiny, it contains all the essential amino acids, vitamins, and minerals, rivaling animal protein. It tastes like sweet cabbage and can be cooked just like it. This is just a tiny, small glimpse of what you'll find in the Forager's Guide to Wild Foods. Really, there's too much to say here. There are over 400 plants you'll find in this book. But that's not all. If you get the Forager's Guide to Wild Foods today, you'll also take advantage of a time-limited offer of 3 exclusive gifts that will be off the